Did you know that St. Luke's University Health Network, based in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, has been recognized by the U.S. government as the highest performing health system in the United States for quality? You heard right. St. Luke's #1 recognition affirms our status as the top leader among the most respected healthcare providers in the nation, including Houston Methodist and the Mayo Clinic. To state it simply, if you want to receive the best care when you go to a hospital, come to St. Luke's.
At first, I didn't think it was real. I woke up to this blinding light, and I was transported to another place. Pluto TV! Then I heard a voice.
Come with me if you want to live.
There were thousands of movies and shows, and they were all free.
The truth is ours.
It's just so beautiful.
On Pluto TV, free streaming of Terminator 2, Fringe, Arrow, The 100, and The X-Files may cause excitement, loss of sleep, and sudden belief in extraterrestrials. No credit cards or alien encounters necessary. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
In the squadron, they called him Bullets, but we call him Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly is on the air
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And I hope it lasts a long time. How do you make something, time seems to go very, very fast, and I don't like that. I wish things could slow down. You get to a certain age, you want things to slow down. I used to grow up kind of wishing my life away. Oh, I'll be happy this weekend. Oh, I'll be happy once this is over. I'll be happy once that is over. No. Time to be happy is right now. Oh, by the way, we have a brand new chair of the Federal Reserve, a guy named Kevin Warsh, W-A-R-S-H, Kevin Warsh, and a very sharp guy. And he was, I think he married one of the Lauder girls, Jane or Erin or one of those girls. And very smart, very with it. He's a great economist, and he's better than that Jerome Powell. And Jerome Powell seemed to take a certain perverse pride in sticking it to Trump and sticking it to all of us. He's gone. Kevin Warsh is now the Fed chairman, and you know what's going to happen pretty soon? Lower interest rates. Lower interest rates. That's another great way to start the summer. Start the summer of 2026, our 250th year. 250th. So how do you feel about that? I feel great. I really do. I think this is going to be a very interesting time. I am doing some really intriguing journalism that I'll be sharing with you mostly next week. I'm going to have to put it together this week. There are some developments in the Bill Stevenson case. I have not forgotten about that. I think about Bill every day. Bill Stevenson, of course, is the ex-husband of Jill Biden, the former First Lady, married to Joe. And this man is in jail right now, accused of murder. And there's a lot wrong with that case. A lot wrong with that case. You ever watch the Fox News? And they have this outnumbered show? And they put one guy in the middle, and then they got all these women. They're all overly made up. And then they just stare at the camera. I don't want to name names, but some of them, it's just like they're looking at themselves in the mirror the whole time. And I think a lot of them are phoning it in and they're faking it. They don't really feel this way about these issues. I can't imagine them ever bringing these issues up in their regular lives, that they would ever, hey, I don't see it. And the other thing is, when you are that concerned about your appearance, you don't have enough bandwidth to observe, to think. I mean, the hair is perfect, the skin, the bronzer, all this stuff. The hair is, gosh. Now, is that sexist? I mean, let's face it, the women have more to work with, more options. A guy wears a suit. Maybe he wears a tie. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he wears suit pants. Maybe he wears dark colored jeans. Maybe he wears shoes. Maybe he wears sneakers. Nope, we don't get as scrutinized as much. I guess there's that because there's a lot more flexibility, a lot more up in the air. They can wear a skirt. They can wear pants. They can show skin, no skin, a blouse that goes down, tank top, spaghetti top. They have a lot of choices. We don't. Oh, you know who swore in Kevin Warsh? Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas. Now, that is an American hero right there. The price he paid to take that job. Remember Anita Hill and all that nonsense? What they put that man through. And if you look it up, if you look up what they actually accused him of, it really, by today's standards, wasn't sexual harassment. He made some crude joke, allegedly, during a meeting with lots of people in there. It wasn't just a couple of words on occasion, but it was still fake. Still fake. You know what they did? You know what they did to that guy? Do you remember we used to go to a place to rent movies, Blockbuster Video, right? Well, they went to his video store. Back then, it was kind of it was before Blockbuster. Blockbuster came around in like 1990, I think. In the 80s, when he was not, when was he? Yeah, I guess he was nominated. 1990, they still had a lot of local stores that rented VHS. And they went to his local store and they published everything he rented. Just a horrific violation of privacy. And here they are, everyone's saying, "Oh wow, he's going to violate our privacy." I bet he still has PTSD. I know, actually, he does. You know what happened? Not too long ago, his wife called Anita Hill and left her a pretty blunt voicemail. "I'm just sitting here wondering why you did what you did. You know, why you tried to destroy a good man's life." Left it on a voicemail. I think she's still a law professor at the University of Oklahoma, something like that. Anita Hill, what a piece of work. It's funny when the Democrats have an allegation. "Oh, please step right up here. Have a seat. Okay, get the cameras. Yes, tell us all about it. Tell us all about it." When there's an allegation against a Democrat, like Tara Reade's allegation against Joe Biden, shunned. Nobody cared. They buried it. They all looked away. And she, unlike that batty Christine Blasey Ford, could actually place herself in the same room as Joe Biden. She had evidence. There were records. She had her own ID from the U.S. Senate. She worked there. She worked for Joe Biden. I mean, and she had something to say years later. Why would that be discounted? Why would be our system is so hideously unfair? Hey, so Colbert is done. I think I may have seen like 2 minutes of his first episode. And now let's listen to, a couple of seconds of his last episode. He's gone. You're supposed to be funny on those late night shows. That's the thing. You guys forgot that. Does he make fun of his boss? Even if you have a rotten time with your boss, I wonder, hey, Steven, did they send you checks every 2 weeks? Did you cash those checks? I hear he's taking shots at CBS on the web. Let's see. Cut 12, please. This is Stephen Colbert leaving it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if it's 11:30, 2:30. Nobody cares anymore. You can find you on the phone. Cut 12.
Stephen Colbert signs off from The Late Show on CBS after more than a decade as host. The network is ending the program after a 30-year run that started with David Letterman. Bradley Blackburn shares more.
When Stephen Colbert kicked things off at The Late Show on CBS in 2015, there were questions about whether his kind of comedy would work. But Colbert raced ahead in the ratings after he focused squarely on politics with the political rise of Donald Trump.
A wall in every place.
His satire drew the ire of the president, but found an audience, even as TV viewing fractured. CBS says ending the show after 11 seasons was, quote, purely a financial decision against a challenging backdrop in late night. As The Late Show signs off, the future is uncertain for the historic Ed Sullivan Theater, a broadcasting landmark here in New York City. It's where the Beatles played on American TV for the first time, and later home to David Letterman, who returned last week to revive traditions. Yes! Fans with tickets for the series finale lined up hours ahead, an end for The Late Show and a major change for television.
Byron Allen will take over The Late Show's time slot on CBS with a comedy talk show, Comics Unleashed.
Byron Allen? Byron Allen, I love that guy. Byron Allen. Now that's the kind of guy. He was on that show, Real People. Anybody know that show, Real People? He's so talented. He's a billionaire. And he's very funny. That's a great big step in the right direction. Congratulations to Byron Allen. What a fantastic idea. All right, so here's Colbert actually, like this is the end of it. Apparently it's very unfunny. Paul McCartney was brought into it. Paul McCartney doesn't strike me as a liberal, by the way. It's just purely, it's all about the music. All about the music. Cut 13, if you don't mind. Cut 13.
Folks, please have a seat, everybody. And now for my final interview. My guest tonight is not just perfect. He is, in fact, infallible. Please welcome all the way from Vatican City.
Steven.
What? Waltine, what are you doing? I'm trying to introduce the Pope.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Pope won't come out of his dressing room.
What? Why not?
Well, we didn't read his whole rider, and evidently we got him the wrong snacks. He's pretty mad.
But he asked for hot dogs. We got him hot dogs. Let me talk to him. Put him up. Your Holiness, please come out. Leo, please. We got a show.
No way, Colbert. You call that a Chicago dog? Pope don't play like that. Leo, out.
Oh, no. The Pope, who was definitely my guest tonight, has canceled. And did we already send the other stars away?
Yeah, I think so.
We already sent the other stars away. This is terrible. Well, who's going to be my last guest now?
Hey, Steve, what about me?
And that was Paul McCartney. Talk about overdone. That whole thing about not having the right snack in the green room, like that was funny for about 2 years. I think it's a throwback to This Is Spinal Tap. Remember that? And they wanted all M&Ms. They all must be green, and they could have nothing else other than green M&Ms. Like that was kind of cute, and that became a thing. High maintenance, the very specific demands by the high maintenance stars for certain types of snacks in the green room. It's not fresh material. Not good, Stephen. Not good. You want to hear something funny and fascinating? I've been following it on Instagram. It's really interesting. There's this woman, Veronica is her name. Veronica. And it's basically the life and times of Veronica. Veronica works at an office. It's not clear what it actually is, but it looks like it's for some sort of moderately sized corporation. And she doesn't take anything from anybody. Customers. She's good. She's reasonable. But everybody around her is kind of unreasonable. And she is very like, I'm gonna stick up for myself. You can only go so far with Veronica, spelled with a K, by the way. Veronica, I love it. All right, now listen. She gets into all kinds of jams, but she puts people right in their place. If you push Veronica too far, she pushes right back. Cut 14, please. Cut 14.
Hi, this is Veronica, the escalations manager. Am I speaking with Diane?
Hi, yes, this is Diane.
Hi, Diane. Yes, she transferred your information over to me. How can I help you?
Yeah, I'm calling in regards to an extension. That's the reason that I originally called and spoke to your agent. So it's regarding an extension on my account.
Yes, and how can I further assist you?
What do you mean further assist me? I haven't been assisted because I haven't gotten the extension on my account.
We really don't have to revisit that topic because the information that the agent gave you was correct. So is there something else that I can help you with?
Not something else. You can help me with the extension in my account. She didn't help me. She wasn't willing to help me.
She was willing to help you within her limitations, but you didn't want her help. From what I can see on the notes here, you asked for a supervisor as soon as she told you that she could not provide an extension.
Of course I asked for a supervisor. She wasn't helping me. She wasn't giving me what I needed her to give me.
So what did you think was going to happen? Did you think that you were going to ask for a supervisor and we were just going to magically change the answer? We thoroughly train our agents to know the information they're providing is correct. So as of right now, I won't be providing any additional extensions.
I'm sure there's someone higher than you I can speak to. I'm sure there's someone above you.
There are people higher than me, but they're not here to speak with you. I'm as high as it goes as of right now.
Listen, young lady, you're either going to give me the extension or you're going to cancel my account.
Okay, no problem. Yep, one moment. Okay, your account is canceled.
What? What do you mean? Why did you cancel my account?
Oh, because you just said either give you the extension or close my account, and I already advised you that I'm not providing an extension, so I did what you asked.
This is ridiculous. Don't close my account.
So you don't want to close your account?
No, I don't want to close my account.
I'll go ahead and reinstate it.
Well, good for her. Good for her. It's Veronica. Veronica with a K. And we like it. We like it very, very much. All right. So, you ever had that kind of issue with customer service? Hey, customer service is really a thing of the past. You don't really deal with people anymore. You deal with machines. And if you do find somebody, it ain't Veronica. It's Vivek in India, right? It's some person way the hell overseas. Did you know that there are certain drive-thrus for McDonald's where you're actually not talking to the drive-thru guy in the McDonald's where you are? It's in like Chicago. They figured out, they've done this in a lot of different McDonald's. Somehow they think it's better, it works out better, more efficiently to have the person take your order in a completely different city. Things are, well, still, what difference does it make, right? When you're going through that thing? All right, Memorial Day, we shouldn't be going to drive-through. We should be having cookouts and barbecues and all that stuff. I don't think that's actually in store for me this weekend. No barbecue, no backyard. Nope, I'm not going to be in any backyard at any point over the next 3 days. I'll be in an apartment. I'll be in a condo. I'll be in a swimming pool at an apartment building, not going to the beach. Let's face it, it's not warm enough. That's the other little thing about they call it the unofficial kickoff to summer, but it's not quite warm enough. The beach is freezing cold. The water is freezing cold. You know, as hot as it gets, there are only like really 2 or 3 beach days where the water is warm and it's like so boiling hot at the beach that you really want, and you go in and it works. A lot of other times there's a discrepancy. The beach is cooler because of all the wind, you know what I mean? And but there are 2 or 3 days, usually late July. But that's it. I don't like the beach. I prefer the pool. All kinds of weird stuff down there, and you can't. And oh, by the way, it's dangerous. I mean, you could sprain your ankle. You could a lot of bad things, short of drowning. And there's drowning as well. Hey, and every year we lose New York City kids who go swimming, right? Because it's too hot, and they go swimming. And they don't know how to swim. Don't go in the Jamaica Bay. Don't go into the Atlantic Ocean unless you really know how to swim. And there's a lifeguard present. Please. We don't want it to happen this year. It would be a miracle if it doesn't happen this year, but it doesn't have to happen this year. Be right back.
Greg Kelly.
Let's go, Brandon.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network. Greg Kelly. On the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Greg Kelly Show.
He's here. He's here. Roger Stone, political legend, best dressed man in America. Saw presidential prospects in President Trump. Gosh, when President Trump was like 30 years old, he saw this guy as a future president of the United States, longtime consultant, advisor, and friend to President Trump, and to many more, actually. Roger Stone, welcome back. How are you? It's Memorial Day.
Which is a great time of year, Greg, because as you know, we can break out the seersucker, we can break out the madras, we can break out the linen, we can break out the two-toned Spectator shoes. This is my favorite time of year when it comes to men's dressing. And as you know, I have just introduced my new spring-summer line of custom men's clothing at very gentle prices, I might add. You can go to RogerStoneSuits.com and check out the new line.
RogerStoneSuits.com. I'm there right now. I'll tell you a couple of things right off the bat. The presentation of the clothes look gorgeous, and the presentation of the clothes is amazing. If you go to Paul Stewart, if you go to some of the nicest places, when they put the suits on the mannequin, they're all rumpled and weird. Yours are perfect, absolutely perfect. Why is it that who determined that we can wear white after Memorial Day and we're supposed to put it away after Labor Day? Where do they come up with that?
I'm not sure what the origins of the rule is, but it is sacrosanct. When I see somebody wearing a seersucker suit, before Memorial Day, even in Florida where it's hot. It's just not right. We offer it, interestingly enough, in 3 versions. You can have a 2-button single-breasted version. You can have a 3-button single-breasted version. We call that 3 rolled to 2. And we also have an amazing double-breasted version. That's my favorite. Go online and try to find that anyplace else today, and it's virtually impossible to find. So, look, a lot of men still have to work in the summertime. In the old days, the Indian government considered Washington, D.C. a hardship posting because of the humidity. New York City is, a very hot spot in the summertime. A lot of guys still have to work. A lot of guys still want to look good. This new line, we learned a lot in our first season. Really tried to bring prices down to make everything more affordable. Of course, you're dealing with cotton, linen, less expensive fabrics for the summer spring season. But I really think we've put together a very tasty collection. And I would point out to you, Greg, the same necktie that'll cost you $185 over at Ralph Lauren will cost you $85 here at the Roger Stone site.
Roger, I am so impressed. I really am. This is a beautiful website, beautiful clothes. And all right, a couple of things here. I see 2 things I want right off the bat. I want the, what do they call it? The Hamptons jacket, which is double-breasted, kind of cream-colored. I've always wanted something like this. Now, let me run this by you. Because of President Trump, the fat shot is available to everybody pretty much. It's radically reduced. So if you are overweight, like I am, but I'm rapidly losing because I'm on Zepbound, I'm excited about wearing nice clothes again. When you aren't at your best, sometimes you don't want to, you want to kind of conceal. You don't want to walk proudly. At least me, sometimes. I can't wait to put on clothes and feel great again, and I'm very, very close. What does it do for a man when he's wearing, quality clothes that catch the eye and people take notice? What does it do for your brain?
Well, if you go to my rules book, Stone's Rules, which has, I'm glad to say, a great introduction by my friend Tucker Carlson, one of my rules is look good, feel good. The way you're dressed is the way you present yourself to the world. You're much more likely to close that business deal. You're much more likely to get that contract. You're much more likely to be successful based on people's impression of you. Now, one of the most important things here is there's a very light gray pair of trousers. Those trousers go with every single jacket in the collection. So there's like a light blue jacket, there's a coral-colored sports jacket, there's a cream-colored sports jacket. You mentioned that beautiful double-breasted cream-colored jacket. Those trousers are designed to go with every one of them. So, and then, of course, we have a collection of dress shirts as well. So this is like a perfect mix and match, meaning everything in the collection goes with everything else. And then for the first time, we have our own suspenders, what the British call braces, because a great trouser begins from the shoulder, not the waist. So it's really designed so that everything in the collection goes with everything else. And then we've produced the navy blue blazer again, but in navy blue linen for the season, so it's not too heavy.
Roger
single or double-breasted.
I'm looking at it right here. I think this is it called the Boulevardier.
Yes, correct.
This is so interesting. It's like a little bit higher. The break, I don't know what you call it, but where you can see the shirt, that happens a little bit higher, and it looks a little bit more formal and a lot cooler. All right. These are great. RogerStoneSuits.com, RogerStoneSuits.com. And by the way, tell us a little bit about how President Trump dresses. And here's another reason why we should step it up. That man, I see him in 2 outfits, suit and tie or golf attire. I don't think I've seen him in anything else in years. And that's powerful.
Very, very rare you ever see him, with a dress shirt and a jacket, but not a tie. And of course, he's the guy who invented the red power tie, which he still uses on key occasions. He used to be a Brioni man. Now I think he has his clothes made in the United States. But it's a bit of a uniform, but that's not a bad thing. Andrew Biddle Duke was a famous diplomat from the Philadelphia main line. He basically had one suit, one shirt, one tie, one pair of shoes. The point is, he had 40 pairs of them. It was a uniform for him, but it always looked good. So once you figure out what you look best in, nothing wrong with sticking to that. But we've given you many options here today. Once again, you can go to rogerstonesuits.com and check it out. We really opened the new site this morning at 10 a.m., and already business is brisk. As for fit, there's two different ways to do that. You can give us your sizes online. You can measure yourself and send that in. We also have a computerized system. But beyond that, we will also send somebody to your home or your office to take your measurements anywhere in the country. And it's usually a beautiful woman, but not always.
Well, Roger, this is a fascinating. It's great. RogerStoneSuits.com. There's one other jacket I want to tell you about, and folks, you can stay with me on this. It looks a little bit. It's a little bit like a safari guy might wear. It's called the Riviera jacket. It's a single-breasted 3-button jacket, but it's got it's tannish cream, and it's got 2 pockets with flaps on the breast. Usually you have one on one side, but actually it's both sides. And I've always wanted a jacket like this. It's a little bit bold. It's a little bit, possibly not eccentric, but basically a rich person would wear this, because it would take some extra confidence to wear this, but it's special. It looks like something a Hollywood director might wear. And it also looks like something Greg Kelly would wear. I want to get this. And by the way, though, the one thing I'm a little bit unclear, it's got a kind of a floppy bow for a belt. That is even extra panache. What's up with the floppy bow?
This is an experiment. It is based on a 1930s photo of Errol Flynn wearing this exact jacket. So I had it knocked off from that. It's very rakish. There's no question. Greg, I think you look great in this. You have to give it a shot.
Roger, I want to ask you a little bit about politics. The fake news is in overdrive. I did a comparison, what they were talking about 4 years ago and what they're talking about now. Gas prices were higher 4 years ago. They were over $5 a gallon. And I've profiled all the morning shows on Sunday and the evening shows. And guess what they were talking about 4 years ago? January 6th. January 6th hearings. January 6th hearings. Not a word about the gas prices. We have lower gas prices now, and they're beating people about the face and breast, chest, neck, and head with these gas prices. And I just don't see this as dire as they want us to believe. But now it's the danger of the fake news. It's all presentation. And I think things are going great, but they are desperate to portray things negatively.
I agree with that. Plus, they bury some of the most shocking news. So we learned yesterday, your colleague, Catherine Herridge, great journalist, determines that the working group that Tulsi Gabbard was headed, studying the outcome of the 2020 election, studying the security of the electronic voting machines, looking into the paper ballots that appeared out of nowhere at 3 o'clock in the morning in 3 different states. That working group was being spied on by the CIA. They were monitoring their computers. They were monitoring their phone calls. They were monitoring their text messages. That's a serious problem. That's Watergate material right there. Yet that story gets buried. And then you have people that I just don't understand, people like Laura Loomer, who seems driven to drive Tulsi Gabbard, who I think is a great woman and a great leader, the woman who declassified the Russian collusion hoax documents, so we know it was a fraud, the woman who declassified the 2 phony impeachment documents, so we know it was a fraud, the woman who's now in charge of studying the integrity of our elections. Why would you want to drive someone like that out of government? Seems to me like that is one of the president's very best appointees.
Yeah, no, that Loomer has really kind of lost it, it seems like, and maybe compromised. I don't know what the hell's going on there. So going into the summer, you sense this Iran war thing is going to be wrapped up soon?
I certainly hope so. This was a detour I wasn't counting on. The Republicans have a huge financial advantage going into the elections. We have, about $6 billion raised so far. I think we'll raise $10 billion before it's over. The Democrats are still in debt from the Kamala Harris fiasco. Redistricting, which if you'd asked me a month ago, Greg, I would have told you would be a disadvantage. Now, based on 2 Supreme Court decisions, the one that says you cannot use race in your making up your redistricting map, and the one throwing out this outrageous attempt to steal, 10 out of 11 seats in Virginia. I now think that redistricting works to our advantage. I think we could pick up as many as 19 seats in the South alone.
Wow.
Plus, you pick up, you pick up in Tennessee, for example. You pick up in Florida. I'm optimistic about the midterm elections. I do want to see gas prices go back down. I think that's an important element of what we need to see. We do need to see food prices go back down. Sooner the president can come to conclusion on this war, the better. On the other hand, they keep sending us a peace proposal that allows them to have nuclear weapons. And I can just tell you, I've known Trump's views on this since 1988. That is never going to happen.
Hey, one other thing about these gray pants that you were talking about that goes with everything, the Westminster trouser. You know what I really like about these? They are beltless. They're not even belt loops, but they got these side cinches to tighten the pant. It is a very, very, very cool look. And if you guys saw this on the street, you may not notice it. You would notice that there's something cool going on. You wouldn't necessarily be able to put your finger on it. But it's the Westminster trouser. I'm very excited about this, and I will be a customer, maybe even your top customer. It's RogerStoneSuits.com, RogerStoneSuits.com. You guys just went live with this. It was updated, and I think it's going to be a huge hit. RogerStoneSuits.com. Congratulations, Roger.
Thanks, Greg. I think you look great in all of this. I look forward to seeing you wearing it.
All right. To be continued. I can't wait. And have a great Memorial Day. We'll be right back, everybody. Thank you, Roger.
Greg Kelly on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I mean, really blown away by, I wanted to talk basically politics with Roger, but then I saw this website, RogerStoneSuits.com. I actually have been planning to buy new clothes for, about a year. Actually, 2 years, but first I got to lose the weight. First I have to lose the weight. Diet and exercise. Well, I started diet and exercise on January 1st. Didn't work out. And then, okay, get on the scale. April 1st. I'm going to be really serious this time. I'm not going to fail. 225 pounds. And 6 weeks later, I was 227 pounds. So I said, actually, that was March 1st. When the hell was it? Yeah, March 1st. Anyway, April 11th, I started the ZBound, and I was 228 pounds. And now I haven't been on the scale in a couple of days. The other day I was 213. I know I'm lower right now. I'd guess I'm like 210, maybe 209. And the destination is 180. And I have no doubt I'm going to be there. And when I get there, it will be glorious. I think I'm going to be below 200 pounds by July 4th. And then I'm going to be, hey, by the way, Joanne Gastineau, Mark Gastineau. We all know Mark Gastineau, right? Great football player. And his wife, Joanne, listens to the show. So does Mark. And looks like they're interested in some clothing. Good people out there. Sorry I can't be in touch like I want to, The kids, the wife, the in-laws, the school, the this, the that, the work, the play. Oh, gosh, birthday parties. You know, I think it's okay that I don't go to any more birthday parties unless it's my own child's birthday. I can't go to other kids' birthday and watch my kids celebrate that birthday. I think it's a drop them off and then come back. I'm the only parent who really seems to do this, and I'm totally comfortable with it. I'm not hanging around a kid's birthday party. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm drawing a line. All right, I'm just going to leave, and it's basically not socially acceptable. But I'm going to try to make it socially acceptable. Let's get out of here. Come on, let's get out of here. What are we doing here, for crying out loud? Hey, by the way, in 1992, Al Gore predicted that within 2 decades, Florida would lose 60% of its population due to climate change. Today, 34 years later, Florida's population is 425% higher than it was in 1992. How about that? Al Gore. Al Gore, a billionaire, by the way. Yeah, they took care of him. Oh, boy, Democrats really take care of their own. You think every witness that came out against Trump, from Time Magazine to book deals to guest appearances on the Larry David Show, right? Everywhere, all the time. Hey, one of my favorites in Congress is Mike Lawler. And I know he's not as hardcore America First as I would like, but neither is his district. All right, he's up there in the Hudson Valley, and they got a lot of Fruit Loops up there. Here's Mike Lawler, and he's a good man, very smart man. Cut 4.
For one, the stock market continues to reach record highs, which obviously impacts people's 401ks and retirement accounts. 2, from a housing standpoint, we've been able to bring down interest rates on mortgages.
Okay, I like it. Well done. Now I'm going to go to the guy who, in some ways, runs the economy. Some say he's more important than the Secretary of the Treasury, Jamie Dimon from J.P. Morgan. Jamie Dimon is pretty cool. He's kind of a rough and tough, gruff guy. And he downplays the Harvard credentials. He's from Queens. He's a regular guy, but he's also a brainiac. And he's also a very, very, very hard worker. Cut 7, please.
What does he do? I don't care what he says. What does he do? I will judge that. And so will what actually happens, because you can talk about morality and ideology all you want, but if things don't get better, you didn't do a good job. And in my view, and I'm talking about him now, I have seen mayors who make statements and they make it worse and worse and worse. You know, and they don't know, they can't get into details of why is affordable housing not there anymore? Why does this not work? You know, and so hopefully he'll learn. I want him to do a good job. I'm not against him.
He's talking about Mamdani. I do care about what he says, actually. But I understand from his vantage point, you know, and these guys are good at that. They can ignore the rhetoric and just look at, okay, what's actually being done. But I'll tell you what's not being done. The manholes are not in place. That woman who opened her car door and just wanted to step out onto a New York City street, and the street failed her. The city failed her. Jamie Dimon, cut 8, please. Cut 8.
So what do you make of the beef Mamdani has with Ken Griffin? I mean, there's been a lot of pushback as well from...
My view is, I didn't speak to him about that. I think he realized he made a mistake in naming Ken, vilifying a name and a person.
And a place.
And, my grandparents were all Greek immigrants, okay? You know, I've been working my ass off now for a long time. I think vilifying people, simplifying arguments, you know, even if you think it's politically is a bad idea. And I think he probably realizes that was a bad idea. It's probably why he's seen a bunch of us now. You know, I'd like to maybe have a better relation with the business community.
Yeah, he really did go too far there. And one more from Jamie Dimon. He works his ass off. Did you hear that? He works his ass off. Cut 9.
You know, in my letter, I pointed out that and these are just numbers. J.P. Morgan, when I got there, had 35,000 employees in New York City, and now it's 26,000. We had 12,000 in Texas, and now it's 33,000. That is because of individual taxes, corporate taxes, state taxes, but also the schools in Dallas. They've become very good. The life in Dallas. You know, the Dallas mayor calls up all the time saying, what can I do to help you? I have land over here. I have, and that is pro-business and pro-people love living there. And That's what New York City. Now, New York's a wonderful place too, but that is the result.
Huh. Well, that's a smart man. Keep an eye on him. I don't know about this NASCAR guy. I'm not a big NASCAR, but you heard about Mr. Busch here, right? Kyle Busch, dead at the age of 41, and he died in a simulator. Who was that guy, Dale Earnhardt Jr.? I remember that very well. That happened on the track. This happened in the simulator. Let me ask you something. Do we know NASCAR? Are these simulators key? Are they a big part of the training? I know for aviators they are. For aviators, they're extremely important, and they're extremely good. I don't know about the NASCAR. You know who does? You know who's really into NASCAR, surprisingly so? Former Governor Eliot Spitzer. All right, now I got some newer information here. Kyle Busch coughed up blood on bathroom floor before death, 9/11 audio reveals. Kyle Busch was lying on a bathroom floor, coughing up blood the day before he died, according to a 911 call obtained by the California Post. In the audio, a man can be heard asking for an ambulance to come to the General Motors Charlotte Technical Center in Concord, North Carolina at around 5:30 p.m. on Wednesday after the NASCAR star had suffered some kind of medical emergency. I've got an individual that's shortness of breath, very hot, thinks he's going to pass out and is producing a little bit of blood, coughing up some blood, the man told the dispatch. He's awake. He's awake. He's on the bathroom floor right now. The man then can be heard giving emergency medical personnel instructions for the quickest way to get Busch when they arrive at the property. Busch was ultimately taken to a nearby hospital with what his family called a severe illness. He later died on Thursday at 41 years of age. Wow. Yikes. You know what? I'm sorry, but my thoughts immediately go to that damn COVID vaccine, which I took. Now, thank God I didn't tell anybody else to take it. You know, given your platform, perhaps you should urge others to take it. No, I am not. I have mixed feelings about this thing anyway. I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. I'm doing it because my wife told me to do it. And I actually respect my wife's opinion. She's a biomedical person. She's got all kinds of experience and all kinds of, and I did it. It was between me and her. All right. Sometimes people come on social. Oh, Greg Kelly was a vaxxer. Well, whether I got the vax or not the vax, that's my call. The important part is I never told anybody else to get it. I didn't even urge anybody else to get it. I said it's a choice. And some people tried to make it not a choice, of course, and that was an abomination. Be right back.
Thanks for listening to The Greg Kelly Show. You can hear The Greg Kelly Show weekdays at 12:15 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder, what the heck is going on here?